Wanted to go through the assignment from yesterday and kind of talk about what I was seeing overall. Um, it didn't go super hot, and I think at the top of the list of reasons why is just because it's our first concept that we're learning completely online, and I wasn't there to like show you in person and kind of go through a couple with you in person. But we'll do the best we can this way, and hopefully this will help. So in the directions, it says to choose a character trait that fits the person being described in the text. Now, for some reason with quiz settings, the settings were marking all of these answers incorrect. Don't worry, I'll go back through and I'll look at those and I'll make a judgment call whether or not it was correct. And most of them are, just looking them over. It says if it's directly stated in the text, like if the text were to say, Susan was very sincere, then it would be directly stated. Then it says to just write the word that is directly said in the text about that person. Like in the example I just gave you, sincere would be what you would write in the character trait box. Then if it is indirect, you have to decide on the method of characterization that's used to help you determine that trait. So what was the clue? Was it a thought? Was it how they looked? Was it how other people were reacting? And then lastly, if it was stated directly, you would just choose it was stated in the text. I think some people got these last directions confused. So let's do a couple together. This first one, it says, Darren showed up at the banquet with food stains all over his dress shirt. He sat down, put his feet on the table, and burped loudly. The other people sitting at the table looked at each other, but continued eating. So you would put in some sort of character trait here. If I look at your answers again, some of you had really good ones. Here, what's the character trait list for Darren that you guys put in? Disrespectful was good, impolite, sloppy, rude, immature, impolite. All of those are really great answers. These would all probably be marked correct, even though they were marked incorrect by Google. So you would answer, I'm going to go with sloppy, I like that one. And then I'll move down. Did it say sloppy directly in the text? Did it say Darren is sloppy? No. So I would say I used clues to figure that out. That was indirect characterization. And then I would have to decide, because it's indirect, it's not going to be stated directly. It's not stated that he was sloppy. So it has to be clues that I used in order to determine that. And you can tell here that there are 3 of them. So if I go back up, it says Darren showed up at the banquet with food stains all over his dress shirt. That's a looks. So we'll go down, we'll mark that one. He sat down, he put his feet on the table and burped loudly. The other people sitting at the table looked at each other but continued eating. Effects on others and maybe actions. And then when you go to the next slide, it would tell you, yes, those were the 3, and you'd move on to the next one. Let's do one that was direct. So this one, I'm just going to put whatever, just so we can get through it. We'll go to the next one. Okay, so this one. Courtney was the most sincere person on the block. Once she asked her neighbor if she could borrow an egg to complete a recipe that she had already started. The next day, Courtney returned an egg to her neighbor along with a thank you card expressing her sincere gratitude. So this one is a direct characterization example. The trait is directly stated by the author. So it says Courtney was the most sincere person on the block. It tells you she is sincere. So we'll put that in. A lot of you got that part right. Did it use direct or indirect? It was stated. Directly in the text it said sincere, so I'm going to click direct. And then lastly, I'm not using clues to determine that. I'm just saying that it was directly stated in the text, so I know that I only need to mark that one for a direct one. You only use the clues when you have to decipher the trait yourself, and it's not given to you directly. So indirect goes with all the clues, and direct just gets direct. Making sense? Hopefully this helped a little bit. Feel free to go in and make changes to the assignment from yesterday. That would be the one that looks like this one. So your assignment for today is to go in and double check your answers for yesterday. I'd like to get an initial grade on this one. So I'm giving you an extra day with it. Go back through it and just make sure that if you have direct here, that you're not putting one of the clues. These are the clues that go with indirect only. All right, hope this helped.